Hey, good morning. So I almost always do any kind of video in the morning. So no matter where you are and what time you're watching this, it will always be a good morning for me. Good morning. In fact, it's a happy Saturday as well. I have made so many new friends on social recently. I think a lot of it is due to the Capital One video that I did a couple months ago. And the timing is so perfect to share with you what I have on my heart today to share with you, which is what I do and how I did it, because my team is on fire today. So I've got these new friends. I'm so glad to meet you here on social. This is why I love social media so much. You can meet friends from all over the world. And then I've got this team that's so completely on fire right now that when I woke up this morning, it was just on my heart to talk about what I do and how I do it because of all my new friends, of all these new friends that we are meeting, we're coming together and we're making connections. And again, that's why I love social media so much. So no matter where you are, wherever you are in the world, what time you're watching this, it is a good morning from me to you. And today I'm sharing a little bit about what I do and how I do it. And probably I'll touch into why I do it because I think that's the most important part. So I grow an online business every day, an online health and fitness business. And I came into this as a former high school, if you go way back in the day, a former high school English teacher. I grew up in a teeny tiny little town with a cornfield literally in my backyard, a very traditional upbringing. I had a great childhood in this tiny town, back in the day when you could ride your bike all day long and nobody worried about where you were or when you were coming home. No cell phones, none of that. Drank Coke from glass bottles, didn't have cable. So it was just a really great small town childhood, but it was also very traditional. I did not see anyone when I was growing up, any female doing anything that might be considered non-traditional. Certainly did not see any female being an entrepreneur. I grew up, I graduated from high school, I went to college. That was never an if, it was always where are you gonna go? I went to kind of a mid-sized college in the Midwest and became a high school English teacher. I met my husband very young and he was a graduate assistant coach in the football program at the University of Illinois. And we moved, went to Austin, Texas, got married, and I was teaching high school English, but at the same time had this kind of nudging or nagging on my heart. I remember this, even when I was student teaching. I remember student teaching and thinking, oh wow, like this is what I have to do every day from now on. And there were bits of it that I absolutely loved because I love teaching and I love working with people and I love people, but there were other bits of it that weren't calling to me, that I wasn't so passionate about. That's the truth in any job, I know, but I thought this is interesting that as a student teacher I'm thinking, is this it? This is what I'm doing now. And all the teachers that I had grown up with at my high school had been teachers their entire lives. So, 30, 40-year teachers. So that's kind of what I had in my head. Like, okay, here I am at 21. This is it for the next 50 years. Wow. Okay. So I had this kind of nagging on my heart. Now, I couldn't tell you what I thought I might do instead. I just knew, I'm not sure if this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Again, I did not grow up with people that changed careers, did anything entrepreneurial, or did anything fitness related. Nobody in my family worked out at all. So my husband and I got married. He is a college football coach. Because of that, the tendency of that job is to be very transient. And we did move a lot. And in one of our moves, we were pregnant with baby 3. And we decided I wasn't gonna work outside the home because we weren't sure how long we were going to be at that particular university. And that becomes problematic then when you have 3 children and childcare and all that. So we knew it was going to be tight. It had always been tight for us. We'd always, from the beginning, did not have a lot of money, so we knew it was going to be tight, but we also knew it was the right decision for our family. And we joined the YMCA in the town where we lived so the girls could take some classes, and I started taking fitness classes. And it also happened to follow a pretty tumultuous year in that we moved to a town where we knew no one. We bought a house. My husband bought the house and I had not seen it, and that's what we moved into. We had baby 3. I had to move when I was 8 months pregnant. So I had to change doctors, change hospitals when I was 8 months pregnant. I had baby 3. My father passed away from a particularly aggressive form of cancer pretty quickly, and I was a daddy's girl. So that was a tough situation. My oldest started kindergarten. My middle one started preschool. I had a brand new baby. I lived in a town where I knew no one. Our dog died. Like, it was all the things wrapped up into this microcosm of about 4 months that could have sent me over the edge. But what I did instead was join the Y and start working out more regularly. I'd always been the person who couldn't move, much like my dog behind me. They only get active, when I'm doing any kind of video, otherwise they're completely sleeping. I'd always been the girl who couldn't move, but it was never, and I danced in high school, danced in college, whatever, but it was never like structured, like group fitness. And then finally, when we moved to this town and I joined the Y, there was group fitness classes. And after this crazy tumultuous year, I just decided, all right, I'm gonna work out every day in a structured setting. And I would get up and I would drop Jenna off at kindergarten. I would take Josie to preschool. I'd have baby Jessie with me. And I would just get to that 9:30 group fitness class. And I made the connection then that if I could just get to that 9:30 class and work out, everything else in the day would sort itself out. And so it did. And I made the connection then, or I started to make the connection then, that it was more than just a workout. So I kind of fell into teaching fitness. They asked me to start teaching some classes 2 or 3 months after I had been taking classes. The group exercise director said to me in one conversation that changed the absolute course of my life. One conversation. It's crazy how that can happen. One conversation, and actually one word then, when I said yes, that changed the direction. So the question changed the direction, but it was my answer that really did it as well. And she said to me, I've seen you in class. I'd like you to start teaching. Would you start next month? I'd never taught a group fitness class ever, but I just said yes. And so the question and the answer changed the entire rest of my life. And because of that one conversation, series of events, I became a fitness instructor, became a master trainer. I became a Team Beachbody coach. I started building this online fitness business. And here we are almost 20 years after that conversation. And my life has completely changed. We could talk about the way an entrepreneurial business can change your life with income. Yes, but honestly, although that's crucial and that's important, it's not nearly the most important part, because I think about the girl that I was prior to becoming a fitness instructor, becoming a Beachbody coach, building a business, like life before Beachbody. My daughters call it the dark ages. Honestly, they came up with that on their own. They call it the dark ages. Life before Beachbody was the dark ages. And I think about the girl that I was going through all of those major life events. I think about how anxious and stressed I was. I think about how I didn't really know that much about nutrition, even though literally as much as I loved teaching high school English when I did it, I was living and breathing health and fitness. On my breaks, I was reading Shape and Self and Health, and I was looking up exercises and workouts and nutrition. Like, I've always been sort of obsessed with health and fitness. That should have been a clue, right? But I also was a reader, and I love words, and I love reading, and I love teaching. So we can love multiple things. Yeah, Marie Forleo calls it a multi-passionate entrepreneur, and that's what I am. I have lots and lots of passions, and I'd always been passionate about health and fitness. But the girl before Beachbody, even when I was teaching classes, even when I was a master trainer, even as I was getting into the fitness industry as a professional, I still was learning, and I still didn't have all the tools. And I was stressed and I was anxious with family relationships and didn't have any tools. I wasn't regularly doing personal development to help me understand and process some of that. I couldn't figure out my nutrition. I've always had digestive issues, and I couldn't get a handle on my nutrition because I didn't know enough. I didn't have the right tools in my life. I loved health and fitness and was kind of surrounded by other women who loved it too, but not really. I didn't have a community in my immediate space, and certainly didn't have the technology that we have now to stay connected with them as closely. Didn't have that community of women who kind of got me, who felt like that we had the same vibe. There was I was overtraining. I was teaching way too many classes. doing too many trainings on the weekends, working with a personal trainer, running half marathons, wondering why my body couldn't figure out why I couldn't lose weight, or why I was always injured, or why I was always sore, like all the things that I was before. And then getting these tools in my life, when I say what I do has changed my life, it feels like an understatement. It almost feels like a joke, like I'm joking when I say that it's changed my life, because it's hard to articulate how much this community and this coaching opportunity has completely changed my life. Not only that, it has created such an incredible ripple effect in my life that I didn't even know. Like I just, because I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know anything, and I didn't know what I didn't know. And having not grown up with anyone in my life that was any kind of entrepreneur, I just didn't know what I didn't know. And as I came into this business, I had no idea that it would create such a ripple effect in my life. I think about my daughters and how different their lives are because of this business, the experiences and the opportunities that they've been able to have because of what I do. I think about my coaches, and I always hope that I can talk about them without crying, because watching, you think about watching your children and watching them soar and watching them find and tap into their passions and pursuits. And as a parent, being able to say yes to them and help them, like that's everything. That's all you want to do as a parent, is help your child find what they're supposed to be on the path to become. But then you get to do it with these other women on your team. And I watch these coaches of mine start to tap into their potential and start to blossom and grow. And then I watch them do that for other women too, and help other women start to blossom and grow. And I watch these lives change, all because of a decision I made 20 years ago to say yes to teaching group fitness, and then to a decision that I made to say yes into coaching, both of which I knew nothing about at all. Now, you might think, well, gosh, do I have to be a fitness instructor to be a Beachbody coach? Absolutely not. Do you know the majority of coaches, of the almost 500,000 coaches in the network, are not fitness instructors? That's just how I came into the business. Everyone comes into the business at the place they are, on their journey, where they are, what they're ready for, what's going on in their life. I happen to have fallen into fitness. That was my journey. And because I had said yes to teaching fitness, and it kind of shown myself that, oh, I guess I can figure stuff out. When the coaching opportunity came along, I thought, well, I guess I can probably figure this out too. I had no idea what I was doing. That's okay. We all figure it out together. But I know that before Beachbody, I didn't have tools for nutrition. I didn't have tools for the anxiety that I was feeling. I didn't have really good tools for the grief that I was feeling over the loss of my dad. I didn't have tools for how to get my digestive system back on track. I didn't have tools for training my body in a healthy, safe way. I didn't have all that. And once I got all those tools in my life, then it became something more. Then it became a ripple effect to change my daughters' lives and help them have experiences and opportunities. And then it became a ripple effect to watch my coaches. Like I said this yesterday, I know, I feel like I'm the Nick Jonas mind blown meme. Like I'm walking around with my mind being blown all the time, watching these women tap into and grow into their potential, and then watching them help other women do the same. That's the ripple effect from one decision. Watching these lives absolutely change. The freedom that this has created, the confidence that it has created, the tools that have come into my life where I don't get stressed about family relationships anymore. I don't get stressed about nutrition anymore because I have tools to help me figure it out. And I have, most of all, a community of women who together we believe in what we can create, what we can do, and that's everything. So when someone asks me, what do I do? I feel like I want to say something really big and ginormous. I change lives. But I think we all can do that. And I think we all can have this ripple effect in some small way. You don't have to want to build a ginormous business to say yes to coaching. But the thing is, you never know the ripple effect it might create in your life until you do say yes. I had no idea. And here I am almost 20 years later with a ripple effect that blows my mind every day. And it can be the same for you. All you have to do is say yes.